Okay. Well, they have closed, not closed, but they have, the governor of Texas, Governor Abbott, signed a decree or whatever you call it, an executive order. People from Louisiana coming into Texas have to quarantine themselves for 14 days. And they're putting cops and National Guard at the border, at the state line. I mean, everything we do is across the state line, and all our doctors are in Shreveport. All my shopping, the Home Depot is 19 miles from me, and Lowe's in Marshall, Texas, is 25 miles from me. So I usually go to Home Depot just because it's a few miles closer. And anyway, we made one more trip to our little store here and the post office. And we were going to get drugs for the dogs, but oh my God, the vet's office, they had 30 people and there was no parking places. So we are back with the necessities of life. Hamburger patties. And there was no beef. This is it. Oh, and they had 3 chicken breasts for $9. Dog food and chips. Gotta have chips. So Ann, Nick Brown, and Kevin, your stuff is headed your way. I came from the post office, so you should probably, I don't know about Nick, but Kevin and Ann, you should get yours this week. And Nick, I don't know how long it takes to come across the border there, because they probably send it by ship. It's. I'm kidding. I really don't know how long it takes to get I would think a week. My God, it's Monday. Maybe next Monday? Okay. Let me go put the groceries up. My wife went over to Bev's to bring her groceries. Well, it happened. I got called several names. And my feelings were very hurt. And it was on a video that I was talking about jury duty. Hold on, let me take a sip of coffee. And I was talking about that they were telling people what the charge was and what the potential sentencing was. And the minimum was 10 years probation, and the other was life in prison. And somebody called me because I didn't say that I wanted the death penalty, and if they don't offer you the death penalty as an option for sentencing guidelines, you can't just tell the judge, well, we know this is what this crime calls for, but we want you to put this guy to death. That's just not how justice works in this country. However, because I didn't mention the death penalty, and I explained in that video why I didn't mention it, because it wasn't one of their sentencing parameters. So the guy calls me a fat, diabetic, autistic liberal. And I could not believe anybody would stoop to that level. I am not a liberal. I thought that was funny. It really did happen, and he really did call me all those names, and the only thing that bothered me was being called a liberal, because I am anything but. Anyway, I just thought that was a funny story to share. Drink my coffee and get to work on bringing blades up to speed here. Whoa, it's getting dark out there. Supposed to get some storms. Okay, here is the polished dinner skinner. Here's my dinner skinner pattern. And here's the thing about the dinner skinner. It is a nice size knife. It's a small knife, but it's all the blade you would need for doing most anything. The problem is the handle. Now, I can make 4 fingers fit on this, especially if you were to, put a thumb back here. But there's just a tiny bit too small a handle. So what I did was square the butt. Exact same blade, same thickness. The only difference is on the back, I squared the butt. Here, I'll put this on here and you can see. And what that does is give you just a tiny bit more, about, maybe a half an inch more of finger purchase. Look at that. So, I think I'm going to start making them like this. This is the new dinner skinner. Kind of like the squared butt anyway. And if somebody just had to have the old style, I'd make it for them. But from now on, if somebody wants a dinner skinner, I'm just going to assume they want this. Okay, back to work. This is the neck knife I was working on. I couldn't get the satin finish that I wanted. I got to clean it up. So I went ahead and hit it with a buffer. Probably going to hit this with a Scotch-Brite wheel now, the fine, and see what happens. This is not spoken for. This is my first one. I do have somebody that I have been talking to about a neck knife, and it just talking about it sort of made me. I've had this downloaded for a while, and I just kind of got me to thinking that I don't really care for the neck knives that I've been making. They're okay, but a more functional, more useful blade that you can actually get 3 fingers on solidly, and it's a little more useful than the neck knives I've been making, unless you had smaller hands. So this I'm gonna hit it with a Scotch-Brite, and this I'm fixing to get the handles out and get them drilled and get them glued before the day's out. Probably this here too. Okay, see ya. Okay, I've got the handles epoxied on to the highly polished dinner skinner and the highly satin finished neck knife. What I did was polish this, and then I put it on my finest Scotch-Brite belt, and I like it. I like it a lot. So we will see tomorrow. Man, I'll tell you what, I have had, let me unplug this. I have had my debit card get hacked for the 3rd time in, probably 6 months. I've only been with this bank for, right at a year. Yeah, right at a year. And my other bank, Capital One, we've had Capital One. Before Capital One, it was Hibernia, and before that, it was Citizens. So we've been with the same bank for probably 25, 26 years, 27 years. And never once, not a single time ever did we get hacked. And then this bank. Now, I still have that other bank, but I have my Google check and my Amazon check, and whatever residuals I get go into my bank here in Wascom, Texas. And 3 times in 6 months I've been hacked. My credit card's been hacked. And one time, man, I had to just about sue them to get them to take a charge off. And what it was, somebody got my debit card and bought things online, and what they were was these tiny little cocktail dresses that I certainly couldn't fit in myself, and I don't even like cocktail dresses. I'm more of a miniskirt kind of guy. And, my wife, she's a small gal, but she's not like a size 2 cocktail dress. So, and they were bought in New York City. And they were shipped. Here's the thing, that this is what got them to take the charge off of my account. I said, and this is their expert fraud guy. Their head fraud guy didn't know this. I said, here's what they do now. To not raise alarm bells. They'll steal your card, order a product, and have it shipped to the card's address, the cardholder's address. Once it ships and they get a tracking number, they go into UPS and change the delivery address. It's happening all the time. It's what they're all doing now. I'm just a stupid hick in a little tiny town in Texas, and I know that. How come you don't know that? And he said, well, I guess what I'll do is I'll call them up and demand the delivery address. Well, there you go, Skippy. And about a month later, they reversed the charge and gave me my freaking money back. But yeah, that was their expert fraud guy. Didn't even know that. So, I had to go up. Their lobby is closed at the bank for the coronavirus. And so I went up to the drive-through window. And I put my card and my license in and sent it through. And she said, what is it that you need, sir? I said, my card has been hacked. I need a new card. And she said, well, we have to do that inside and our lobby is closed. And I said, well, that's why I came to the window. I know your lobby's closed and I have to have a card because everything I do, medicine gets paid for online. I mean, everything I do is through my debit card and I have to have it. She said, well, I can give you some cash. I said, I don't need cash. I can't pay online with cash. I need my debit card. This is the third time I've been hacked through your bank. What are y'all doing that's different than my other bank, which hasn't been hacked in 25 years? So, reluctantly, they have a conversation amongst themselves, and the manager gets involved, and I can see the lips moving, but they got the speaker cut off, and they keep looking at me, and I'm looking at them, and I'm not going away. So they tell me to go drive around to lane number 1, which is where they do where they slide out the tray to you, you know. And so I did. I drove around there, and they said, okay, well, we'll give you another card. Damn right, because I'll be here all night. Nobody's leaving. Anyway, I got a new card. What an aggravating thing to constantly have. Now I got to go to Amazon and PayPal and redo my debit card information. This is really a pain in the neck, and I wish I had not changed banks. I mean, I still have my other bank, but I don't use that for anything. My wife, that's what we pay the bills out of and buy groceries and make payments and, you know, whatever else we got to do. This bank, I call it my mad money. If I make any money from knife making, it goes there. And if I buy knife making steel, it comes out of there. I just like to keep my hobby and my YouTube channel separate from my other account. So, and it's easier for taxes and everything. It's just easier to keep track of. So, I don't know what this little rinky-dink bank does differently than Capital One. But it sure is getting old having to constantly go up there and get a new card. And then they want the burden to be on me to prove I didn't buy it. Well, you know, look at me. Do I look like I'd fit in a size 2 cocktail dress? No, I don't think so. Alrighty, see you tomorrow. We'll be sanding.